What is good, ladies and gentlemen? If you guys don't know me, my name's Isaac and I post a new video here on my wrestling channel every single day. So if you like my content, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But as you can tell by the title of my video, today I'm giving you 4 tips for heavyweights, alright? This is just what I've learned. I've never been a heavyweight. So this is like a person looking in, okay? Like, I have not experienced being that heavy ever, but I have coached some kids that are that heavy, and I've learned from people who are heavyweights and have been heavyweights their whole life. One thing I realized is, like, the top level heavyweights are all phenomenal athletes. They all wrestle like lightweights, you know what I mean? They all wrestle like middleweights or like 182 pounder. They take shots, they take risks. So tip number 1 is work on your agility. Work on your ability to move your feet around the mat and around your opponent and level change and move them, like push yourself forward and backwards, right? These are all the motions that you need to get good at. Because I understand for heavyweights, it's hard for you to like bend your knees and it's hard for you guys to like get up and down because you guys are literally carrying so much weight. But if you can learn how to, like, a perfect example is like a boot scoop, all right? You slide the arm by and then you do the boot scoop, right? You like slide onto your hip, onto your butt, and you grab their leg and then you just like hold on to it and you start like walking up. You walk into them, push their because like once you have their leg, if you're like a very big man, it is going to be hard for them to take that leg away. They're gonna be fighting, but you're gonna have it like with your right arm, and the trick to picking up a heavy leg is pushing their weight onto their other leg, okay? So even if a leg weighs like probably 95 pounds, and if you got it and you're on your knees and you're just like walking into him, if you just like literally push into him so he has to shift his weight, and you do that by pushing like in and up, okay? So you don't just like hold on to his leg and like try to drive it down. You have to, like, with your shoulder, be walking in and pushing up. You want to come up with his leg, and like that's just a very easy like setup to a shot. But it's things like that, things where you go down and you stay down for a second and you like gain control and you work your way up, are the things that you should work on. Tip number 2 is get good at setups. Get good at some setups from like before you get into the tie-up, or when someone's reaching to get into the tie-up, to where like you slide them by, or you like just misdirect their momentum. If they're coming at you and you push under their elbow and like slide them by, you can get a body lock very quickly. But you have to drill this stuff constantly. I'm not saying this is going to be easy at all. I am not telling you that this is a magic trick. You guys need to drill this shit constantly, like every practice, and get really good at it. Like, I'm telling you, really, really good. I know most schools and most like coaches will let the heavyweights do other things. So you have to have like setups that you drill and hit with someone giving you resistance every single time, because you will never feel the resistance of another heavyweight like in a match unless you emulate that in practice. And this is hopefully saying that you have another heavyweight to practice with. I know a lot of kids in high school, like, you're the only heavyweight and you have to practice with like the coach. But let the coach know that you don't want to be treated like a pussy. For real. Like, that means a lot. If you say, don't treat me like a pussy, coach, then he's going to push you. And it will probably suck. Don't hurt yourself, obviously. But you need to put a lot of work into like getting proficient at these things. Tip number 3 is conditioning is your friend. Being a lighter heavyweight is not always a bad thing. Right? If you're like 290 and you have to cut to get to 285 and you have like, I don't know, 25% body fat or something, or I don't know, that's kind of low. I don't know, if you have like 35% body fat, unless you're in football, then you should try losing a little bit of weight, because being like having that extra weight off and being like that little bit more agile does a lot. I've seen 192s dominate in the heavyweight class because they were just faster. I've seen lightweights take down heavyweights because they were faster. They would just shoot and get around. But I mean, like, I'm not saying that you'll ever do that, but I'm saying that's the power of agility, right? It doesn't have to just be like brute force, which I know a lot of people like to get into. Tip number 4 is work on getting off of your back, okay? This happens time and time again, right? When a heavyweight falls to his back, it is like a magnet to the floor. Like literally, like it's like their back suction cups onto the floor, and like they're like wiggling. You have to get really good at having a big person on you and bridging and getting off of you. Like we all do it. It's just gonna suck the absolute most for you, okay? You have to work on it because this is a scenario that will most likely happen, okay? So it's very important for you to do that, and you have to drill it constantly in practice. Do not think that because you got up once, that's the last time. You have to be like drilling that shit constantly. Make use of your time in practice. The harder you practice, the better you're going to be. And the margin for good heavyweights, there's a very small percentage of heavyweights that are very high quality wrestlers. You know what I mean? With some pretty basic skills, if you get proficient at them, probably won't be able to keep up. I don't know. But remember, I have never been a heavyweight. This is just what I've seen, and this is what I've seen like other kids do, and what I've coached other kids to do. So take this with a grain of salt. If you feel like you're training too hard and you're hurting your knees and like there's something that like I didn't take into account, then of course take a break. But don't be a pussy. Don't sell yourself short. You can do way more than you think you can. Don't be a pussy. Alright? That is basically like whole thing to this video. Don't be a puss. Especially when it comes to practice. That is the most important part in all of practice. Push yourselves to be better than the other kids. So, if you guys like my videos, then hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I post new videos every single day. I'm doing a podcast with my friend Julian. He plays football over at Duke, and he plays 6th in state in wrestling with me. That came out weird, but yeah, if you want to see that, it'll probably be up tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace!